same time wise and strong, able to make a war and to win it, though they don't like it, was Mujibur Rahman. And for me, he's a model forever. I admire probably no category of men or women as much as those who hate war, who consider that war is the worst experience that can happen to mankind, that far from alleviating the men, making them stronger and higher, contrary, it depreciates mankind, but that sometimes it has to be done nevertheless. The first I met who thought that war was the worst experience, that it brings nothing to humanity, that it is not a school of brotherhood or of greatness, but that sometimes it has to be done, and who then win it, was Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. And for me, my encounter with him is an unforgettable experience. He will be till the end of my life, in my heart, in my mind, and in the pantheon of those who shaped me and whom I admire and revere most. This is what I met, this is what I made the experience of in Bangladesh. Now, what did I want to tell you at last? I wanted to tell you, to finish, Bangladesh despair. I told you a lot about the darkness of which I was the witness in this country, and not yet about the hope. And I think that this country can be and is a country of hope. And if I am here tonight, it is probably more important than what I said for this, to tell you what is, in my eyes, the hopeful future of this country. There is your economy. I know that Bangladesh is a poor country, but I know also that you are a country who refuses to be a country of slaves and slaves of the globalization. I know that when there was this terrible tragedy of the Ramza Plaza, I know, I was there, here, the emotion which was spread around the country. I know how from the bottom of the country to the head, there was the decision to change that and to stop being the last end of a dreadful chain who would transform the Bangladeshi ladies into slaves of big Western company. And I know that you have this force, and someone yesterday night told me that there are some indication that in a world in crisis, panicking for a virus, Bangladesh has in his hands some chances which you are apparently ready to play, to put on the table of the big theater of the world. And this for me is so important. It's the third thing. I'm sure that Bangladesh can be as other underdeveloped countries in the past. You have a few examples. Ethiopia, China, of course. You can be one of those countries who gain prosperity if you give yourselves, and if the rest of the world helped you in that, the necessary and appropriate weapons. I know that you are also a country of great culture, a culture which is under threat, by the way. You are a country of writers, of poets, of intellectual fighters who are targeted by some crazy false believers of groups affiliated to Al-Qaeda and who try to kill them, and sometimes did it. Ahmed Tutul and others, and bloggers and so on. But even that, even this experience for Bangladeshi writers to be on the front line, even this terrible idea that you can be killed in Bangladesh because you think, is the sign of the importance of this thinking. It is not all countries at the end of the day where writers are targeted as such, where writers, poets, translators, publishing house directors are killed or threatened to be killed or compelled to exile, like Taslima Nasrin, just because they have in their mind a culture. It is a proof, a contrario, of the greatness of this Bangladeshi culture. A culture which is threatened is a culture which is strong. It's a culture which is threatening the bad demons of totalitarianism, bigotry, intolerance, and so on. Number 3, Bangladesh gives recently and still today gives to the entire world an example of humanity, compassion, and brotherhood. I'm thinking of what is happening in a place where I'm going to go with my friends day after tomorrow, which is the Rohingyas, Cox's Bazar. The fact that such a poor country as you still are extend this brotherly hand to a community of women and men who are victims of crimes against humanity, maybe even worse, is the source of hope. And 2 years ago, I wrote an article in the French press. I think it was reprinted here. I could not help making the comparison between two ladies. On one side, a lady which I had for long considered as a great lady who had the Nobel Prize, by the way, because I was not the only one to think that she was great. And in a way, she is great, certainly. Aung San Suu Kyi. With another lady who does not have yet the Nobel Prize, but who might deserve it at least as much, who is Sheikh Hasina. On one side, a lady who could not find the words to condemn this prosecution of the Rohingyas. A lady, whatever the reason, who could not find the words to express her solidarity. On the other side, the grande dame, a great lady, maybe the real great lady of the area, the daughter of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, who found the words, who did the acts, who committed the deeds, and who really did extend a brotherly hand till now to the Rohingya. And this for me is an incredible lesson of life and of humanity. A poor country extending a brotherly arm to poorer than himself. That's the most moving thing you can see. America or France being solidar, okay, it's normal. We are so rich. We have the duty of helping and of devoting 0.1% of our PIB, European countries in general, to solidarity. A country like yours, committing itself to this act of brotherhood that cost so much here, this is a real great image addressed to the future generation, and I hope I will find a way to address it. Even more,